G'day guys. So what we're going to be doing occasionally every other class is this activity that we've got here, the Mars Team Challenge. Alright, so we've done a lot of stuff in STEM, including design and thinking about robots and going to Mars and all these other things. But now we need to bring it all together. We need to think about how are we going to get to Mars. When we go to Mars, what are we going to need when we get there? And we need to think about and plan the entire trip. All right? And the idea will be that you will be competing with every group from every other class. All right? And there are a whole bunch of different activities that you will need to answer to demonstrate to us why your team should be the team of Dandenong astronauts. All right? So, you are going to need to work in groups of 3 or 4. The larger the group, the more things I expect you to complete. All right? So, once a fortnight, probably in this period right now, this is when we're going to be working on this document. Now, you can still work on this outside of class time, but in terms of the time you get in class, it will be just this period. As in Thursday, the session where we have 2 in a day. So period 4, we're going to start something else, but this is always going to be running in the background. All right? So, you guys need to decide on what teams you're going to have, and then you're going to need to create a document with your team, and you are then going to share that with both myself and Miss Sparks so that we can, get eyes on what you're working on. Now, there are some tasks that you absolutely must do, and these are the set tasks. This document will be up on Compass once I finish. All right, so a report on Mars outlining the main challenges that you will have to face and how you intend on dealing with them. Remember, what do we know about Mars and the challenges that we're going to have to deal with when we're living there? All right, because remember, we're going to have to live there for a few months at least before we can get a launch window to send us back to Earth. You will then also need to think of an equipment and supplies list. Remember, you only have about the space of the size of an empty school bus. All right? Not the little mini bus, I mean like a full-size bus. No seats. So take the seats out, that's how much space you've got. So remember, think about all the things you're going to need to bring. And remember, the team is only going to be you 3 or 4 people. All right, so tools, technology, food, medical supplies, clothing. What are you going to need to take with you? All right, remember, it takes about 9 months to even get to Mars, and then 9 months to come back. All right, so those are the tasks that you absolutely must do. There is no negotiating your way out of it. All right? And then from each of the other categories, you must do at least one. You must do at least one of these tasks from each category. So the first category is exploration. You must do one of these 5 activities as part of your group. All right. So they are using Google Mars, which is an actual thing. Just Google it. Google Mars. Create a map of where you want to set up the colony and explain why you might think it is a suitable spot. What if we talked about what we need for Mars to live there? In order to land safely on Mars, we will need a parachute to soften that landing. prototype different parachute designs using materials you have around the house or at school. We're going back soon. Test your designs and take a video photo of your final model. Explain the changes you have made through iteration. Create a simulation of the colony landscape using an online platform of your choice. Tinkercad's a pretty good one. All right. Create a model of a satellite and label the separate parts and explain how it will help the colony. What do we use satellites to do? What do they look like? What purpose will it have for the colony? How do we use satellites on Earth? Can we use them in a similar function up on Mars? All right. And the last one, which I feel like a lot of people are probably going to do, design a model rover to explore the Mars surface for us. Label the different parts and explain why they are important. All right, so we're going to go to Mars. We're going to need some robots to help us. What are those robots going to look like? What are they going to do? How are they going to work? How are they going to function? What power supply are they going to use? All right, so that is the first category. That is exploration. Moving down, we have construction. You are going to need to create again, remember you're doing one of three things. One of these things. Create a bird's eye view plan for our colony. What facilities will we need? How many of each? And ideally, you try and do this to scale. All right, so you can just do a simple drawing on a grid and have the grid references and things like that. Basically a map looking top down. You could do it in Tinkercad if you want, and then all of a sudden you have a model. Create a model of a residential habitat. Residential meaning where we live. Okay, so create a model of a residential habitat. What sort of spaces will it need? So you're going to have living spaces, but you're also going to have working spaces. What does the living space look like? And then the last one, a little bit trickier. With water being scarce on Mars, design and explain a water treatment system that could help us to reuse our water for different purposes. Remember, as icky as it is, if you go to Mars, you are probably going to end up drinking your own pee. It will be treated, it will be recycled, it will not look or smell like it, but remember, it probably came through you at some point or another. Or someone else. Alright? Every little bit of water moisture is going to be important, whether we're using it to grow crops, to keep our cells going, etc. Alright? And the last category is health and safety. Some of you guys may have seen videos like this, like you know when you go on an airplane, they show that safety video, something like that, where it's like, oh well, you've arrived at the colony. Here's all the safe spots. Here's all the dangerous spots. Here's how you can survive on Mars. All right, dietary plan. You guys are going to need to come up with some sort of way to itemize what each person on the team is going to be able to eat. Think about it for a single week. All right? Think about it in terms of a single week. What are you going to need across a whole week? How many meals? What sort of energy input are you going to need? What sort of vitamins are they going to need? All right? Remember that fresh food is going to be tricky to grow because, again, we're on Mars. Think about how we are going to grow more fresh food when we get to Mars. Unfortunately, I don't think people are going to be able to survive on a single potato a day. Especially a Martian potato. Like in the movie. Alright. Last two. Exercise regime. How can we keep fit on Mars what exercises are going to work best for us. Remember that Mars has a lot less gravity, which means that everything is easier to do. And because everything is easier to do, the muscles in our bodies are going to waste away a little bit. So we need to find ways of keeping our muscle mass up so that when we come back to Earth, we're not going to just be a puddle of mush. All right, and then the last one, design a spacesuit that we can wear when we're outside on Mars. What is it going to need to be made of? That's important. And what gadgets and tools will it need? Remember, this is going to be a spacesuit that you can wear to keep you alive when you are outside of the habitat. Inside the habitat, you shouldn't need the spacesuit. Outside, you definitely need it. Like in the picture up there. All right? What's going to have to be on the spacesuit? All right? So, again, let me go through this one more time. You must do these two things here, the set tasks. And then you must pick at least one from each of the categories: exploration, construction, health and safety. At least one of each. I will put this up on Compass as soon as I finish this recording. All right. So you guys need to today decide who are going to be in your groups. That is up to you to negotiate who is going to be in your groups. But remember, to make this easy on yourselves, groups of at least 3. The bigger the group, the more things I'm going to expect. If you do have 3 people, that makes it nice and easy. One person does the exploration task, one person does a construction task, one person does a health and safety task, and you all work together on the set tasks. If you start adding a 4th person, then you might need to pick up a second one of the explorations, or a second construction, or a second health and safety person. All right? Everybody needs to be able to contribute and share and work together to complete the tasks. All right? So good luck and have fun.